Hey guys, what's up? I'm sure everyone is surprised at why I decided to start making videos. I don't know if you're surprised. This has been something that I've been battling for a long time because I've been honestly been scared. Not going to lie, I'm going to admit it that I've been scared of putting my face out there, you know, been scared of taking the big step. And I decided to do that due to the fact that I've been, like I said in the previous episode, locked in and thinking of the best way to progress in my own life and also in my craft. So I decided to do one thing I've been scared of doing for a long time, and that's starting a YouTube channel. Though I've started a YouTube channel in the past, and it was for purposes, video game purposes. I was actually playing games, Apex Legends, Call of Duty Mobile. Yeah, I was really good at them. But like I did then, I took the big step of stopping video games because apart from the fact that it was slowing my work process, I was really into it. Yeah, it was actually slowing my work process. That was the whole reason why I stopped playing video games because I was very much distracted by them. But I still play video games to this day. Just not frequently when I have my free time or during my free time I play video games. But that's not the main. That's not what this episode is about. So this episode is about trauma, traumatic experiences, how it affects our lives as human beings, and how it hinders our progress. Traumatic experiences can very much hinder our progress because it's something that has been going on for ages. That everyone battles with it. You understand? One way or another, we've had an experience that, as in one way or another, left a scar in our chest or place some weight on our shoulders and stuff. But yeah, in as much as it can hinder our progress, it can also help us progress when we let them go. So I'm going to start by saying my own story and how a couple of other people relating it with a couple of other people on how traumatic experiences has affected our lives and how we overcame them or how they overcame them or we overcame them and how we feel after that process, you understand. So when I was little, I'm going to start by saying just I'll try my best to summarize it to be quick and brief with this story so it won't take a whole lot of our time and we can get to the point. So when I was little, I was very stubborn. I'm not even going to lie, it's not even the fault of my parents. I personally was a very stubborn kid, and we were at that time we were only like three boys, and my mom was she was a stay-at-home mom, and my dad was barely around. So my mom also she had a very harsh upbringing where her dad was in the military, was a general, and I don't even need to go deeper. You already understand what I'm saying. You fuck up, you get your ass whooped, and it's not in a way you'd imagine it, or it's not in a way you'd like. So yeah, my mom took that upbringing, and anytime I fucked up, nah, there's no way I'm not getting my ass whooped, or one way or another I'm going to be taught a lesson. You understand? So I grew up with with defects seeing. I couldn't really see properly. Because of that, I couldn't really copy notes in class, and I couldn't really, see things from afar. So why I brought that up was because of one experience I had with my mom with the TV. So I was watching TV at home, and mind you, like I said before, I can barely see things that are far because I didn't mention that before. I'm myopic in nature, and I still have it till now, but I think it's even way, way worse. But either ways, I normally go close to the TV, and it was something I do frequently. And then my parents didn't really understand that it was cause I wasn't really seeing properly. That was why I was going close to the TV. But they saw it as me just being like, oh, I just want to go close to the TV. You understand? So at one point, my mom came in. She saw me close to the TV. I was enjoying my cartoons, man. I was really into that shit. I think I was watching Power Rangers at that time. I don't know. I can't really remember. I was this close to the TV. I was actually very close to the TV. Came in and she slammed my head against the the table. God damn it, blood everywhere. And I'm not trying to say this to antagonize my mom. You feel me? I'm trying to say this to make her look evil. It's a normal thing, you understand? No one is perfect. And African parents can go to the extreme to try and teach us a lesson. So yeah, that was an experience for me and it really stuck to me because I have this car here. I don't know if it's here. I think it's somewhere around here. And the second one of my most traumatic experience was when I so this was around the time, like I said, I was a very stubborn kid. Around the time I moved to this apartment that I'm currently in. So it was quite bushy, and we were one of the pioneers in this estate. And my mom obviously got a catapult, and you know me now, me, I, I definitely use it. You understand? I definitely make use of that shit. So one fateful day, I was playing around, and I saw a chicken, a lucky chicken, and I was like, "Oh God, you have sent something for me to test my target skills on." So, you know me now. I took my catapult, I aimed that shit, and it was so precise. I was really proud of myself because I timed it well. I let go, and it was spot on, man. Bullseye. The chicken was flying around, and I was like, celebrating like fuck. I just won this shit. But I didn't know disaster awaited me around the corner. So in a way, I was scared too, because like, mind you, I was still young, and killing something, it's not fun. It's fun, but at the same time, we think about our decisions and we know that shit. It seems like I shouldn't have killed that shit. I should have been much more careful or something like that. But either ways, I killed it, and I was proud of myself in a way, but more proud than sad. Yeah. And I was inside later, and I just started hearing a noise from outside. It was like, Emmanuel has killed my chicken. Emmanuel has killed my chicken. I was like, bro, what the fuck? Like, who is this? I was so fucking confused, you understand? And I ran outside. I was looking, like, how did this woman? Because mind you, the woman was staying like way down the street. I don't know how she tracked that fucking chicken to this place, man. Because it was, it was mind-boggling. Like I was so confused. But either ways, I stood outside there, and my mom came outside, and she saw it, and she saw the woman. As she looked at me, she cleared my ass off the ground, man. For real, like I was floating, like I was standing, then I was like, I just feel like this. And immediately after I landed, she stomped on my head, bro. Like, damn, I feel weird sharing this kind of shit, but like, it's just, it's normal. I've gotten over it. At the same time, it doesn't really affect me. It's just it's something personal, and sharing it online is kind of fucked up. But I just want you guys to just understand the scope of trauma. You understand, and what better way to explain it than giving you a very, relatable story. You feel me? So either ways, that was what happened. I just stomped on my head, blood everywhere. I also made a dent in my my chest. But either ways, other things, that's just trust me, that's the tip of an iceberg. That's not the worst that I've done. You understand? I've done worse. You feel me? So uh in the environment I grew up, I was always yelled upon and shit like that. So I took it on to my university, and I think that was where I finally learned how to get control of it and everything because of the people I associated myself with. Like I said in the previous episodes, your friends play a very huge role in, can either make or break you, like I said. So it affects your relationship. That's one point I was driving to. Traumatic experiences, and when you've not let them go, it can affect your relationship one way or another. In my own point of view and how I experienced it, my roommates were coming at me, being honest with how I was behaving in the room and in where we stayed, because we're like four in a room or five, I can't really remember, but like my friends were coming at me like, bro, you did this shit, go clean that shit up, or go sweep that stuff, or get water, because like we do like a routine type shit where someone does something, the other person does the other, so it's like, balanced. But it always felt to me like I was being attacked, like I was being, they were ganging up on me, because back home I wasn't really able to express myself. Growing up, I wasn't really able to express myself, and I think it's something that is general in the African home, when they tell you you can't look, if your elders are talking to you, you can't look into their eyes. You have to look down, which I don't really right now. It feels weird because either ways, that's by the way. But it made me to not be able to speak up and also suppress my feelings. So I plunged myself in an environment that was uncomfortable, and I started doing things more and listening to people whenever they give me like a maybe what's the word? I'm trying to find the word. When they give me something that conflicts, no, when they criticize me, yeah, that's the word. When I'm being criticized, you know, criticism, it's neither good nor bad. It can be good, it can be bad, but most times there's truth in whatever people are saying towards you or how people are criticizing you. So I got comfortable seeing those things and hearing those things and listening to them. You feel me? And trying to find, okay, there's a reason for this person to say this thing, and why is that? If it's bullshit, I'm going to tell the person that, regardless, most times, 100%, or let me just say 99%, just to be fair, because 1% of it, mm, that scale is not right. Let me say 70% of the time, 70% of whatever people are criticizing you about is true. Trust me, man, it's true. But the remaining 30% might be bullshit. But 70% might be true. Sometimes the scale might vary from time to time, but people always, most times, people speak the truth, but it might be bullshit most times. You just have to know what to pick and what to drop. But either ways, yeah, relationships and also psychology, it can affect your psychology in a very it, it can affect your psychology in a very weird way. Not weird way, it's more or less natural, because like you can, let's say, women, they've had, or most of us, like me now, I'd say my relationship life, I've had nasty experiences with women, and that has also made me think a certain way. And due to the fact that I did not let that go, or I did not let that go at one point, because it really fucked me up. I was in a relationship with a girl. I think I was like 15, 13 or so, because I went to an all boys school, and I didn't really know how to like relate to women. I'm just going to be honest. But that then I was in a relationship with this girl, and surprisingly I found out she was in a relationship with like three other guys. But I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that was the first time I ever got drunk, you understand? So it made me see women in certain lights. But at the same time, it also made me toughen up, you understand? But at one point I just let it go. You feel me? So matter it can affect some people in some certain way. Maybe they've been in like this 10 years relationship with one girl, and the girl just happened to have been cheating on him all this while, or it can be vice versa. so that it won't sound like I'm sexist or anything. So it might be the girl has been in a relationship with this guy for like 10 years or more, and the guy has been cheating on her ever since, and she finds out. That can also be traumatizing because more or less we've dedicated our time and energy to someone, and it just gets, you know, blown off or thrown out of the window. So either ways, I think that's how it affects us psychologically. Or whenever, like I said, you go through like some hardships, some hard times, like hard moments. Because me and my mom and my aunt were having a relationship. We're having a conversation the other day, and my aunt was telling me about one woman that is so cold-hearted that if someone dies, she'd laugh. You understand? Like if someone was sick beside her, she'd laugh because of her background and how her life was when she was growing up. So if you've been through some fucked up shit, definitely it's going to affect how you see life. But at the same time, over time, like I've always said, and I keep on saying, time is like a factor. Over time, if it's up to you or the person, they will be able to overcome whatever problems or trauma they have. You understand? So how to let it go, how to let things like that go is the best thing is to face them head on. I won't lie. The best thing is just face them head on and just accept the fact that it's in the past and you can't really change it, and you can't really change you that you've experienced it in a way, one way or another. That whatever you went through in the past has affected you in a good way, more or less giving you a character development. Like I think I've heard there's this word, canon events. You understand? Most times hardships come to us to toughen us up and let us see life from a different perspective. And it takes a while for us to realize that it actually did more good than harm to us. But most times focus more on the harm or the negative aspects, that we don't even see the positive aspects or the positive thing that that experience has done to us. You understand? So yeah, letting facing them head on. And I would use an example from this series I've been watching recently, and that's Suits. And the one character that I love so much and I look up to and I'm learning a lot from is Harvey Specter, because in a way, the guy, he was so good at what he does. Like he's the best. He's so good at what he does, but at the same time, he was drawn back by something that he didn't really want to address, but it was there and it was affecting his work life, his relationship life, his everything. But over time, he had to. The series did it in a way that everyone was that series is a character development for every single one of them. Both Jessica, both what's his name, Lewis, both Mike, both Rachel, and Avi, even Donna. Every single one of them had like they were undergoing a character development. You understand? So but I respect that was the one that caught my attention because of the thing that his mother did in the past and how that affected his family, and that's how that affected him and his mindset towards women or those kind of things or those kind of situations. It really affected, like I said, how his psychology and how he handles rejection or abandonment, because he had like a very bad abandonment issue because of that experience in the past. So the moment he addressed it and came to reality and just came to peace with his mom, even though he couldn't forget, but he just came to realize that his mom is not perfect, and though she made a mistake, she has actually realized what she's done. You understand? And he doesn't really hate her. You understand? He actually really loves his mom. That's why it actually pains him the most, because the one you love is whichever who you love. If they do something to you, that's where the most hurt comes from. You understand? So the wall he built up all crumbled down. You understand? So yeah, he faced his problems head on. Though it took time, like I said, you don't need to rush the process. You don't need to uh, pressure yourself into trying to like guy I need to nah man, it will take its course, time will take its course, and gradually you will let go of whatever you are holding on to, you understand? So yeah, and one last story. There was a friend I was staying with in Enugu, and he was complaining to me about his mom and the experiences he's had with his mom in the past, and telling me, "Oh, you no go understand, you no go understand." I'm like, bro, like I literally went through this thing when I was a kid, just like you. It might not be in the same spectrum or through this or the same way, but it's still the same pattern because my mom handled me a certain way, and your mom also did the same thing. You understand? Because you saw her as like a very you looked up to her, and in a way she didn't really see it that you were looking up. You just had different perspective, and it was clashing, and you grew up to build that defense over her. So I just told you that you just have to realize that your mom is a woman, and like no one is perfect, no one is perfect, and also she is also like he was raised by a single mom, and she's also dealing with our own trauma in our own way, you understand? So I just told him that, bro, just let that shit go, man, and just be cool with your mom. Not every time she comes you're just going to be, this woman has come again, like, oh, what does she want again? If she calls you, say, oh fuck, like, you ain't gotta be stressing yourself over shit like that. Like you have more places to dump your energy into rather than focusing on whatever chip you got on your shoulder and shit. So and surprisingly few weeks later, he called me and told me that he's finally made peace, and I was happy for him because I'm glad, and I'm also glad I was one of the people that contributed to that, and in coming to realize that he it was it's been pulling him back a whole lot. And if you don't heal those kind of things, or whatever you've been through is going to cling on to you like that chip you can't get off your shoulder. You just need to weigh you down, weigh your spirit down. You won't know, but subconsciously it's doing something to you, it's doing something to you, and overlooking it is just going to make it worse. And most times, most people end up going to the grave with it and not fully unlocking their potential. And trust me, the moment you let go, you're going to feel a lot better. So that's that's going to be the end of this episode. And like I said, whichever thing you're going through right now, whichever problems you have, whichever hardship you're in, just persevere, man, for real, because it's for a reason. Strong times creates strong men. Weak times creates weak men. So um, no, not weak times create weak men. Easy times create weak men. So use this period to persevere and keep doing whatever you're doing. Now, funny enough, if you're doing shit in this period that it's fucking hard, how far would you now go in a period that is quite less, there's less hardship, you feel me? So just keep doing what you're doing, man, you feel me? Rome wasn't built in a day, and it wasn't easy also. So keep pushing, and God bless you. 1% every day, like I said, baby steps are almost there. So have a great day, or have a great night, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.